Her brother was in primary 1 then, she was in primary 3. She said, "Mommy, I hate math." And her brother was like, "Me too." And I'm like, eh? People should not even think about it. Why would you say that you hate math? And she goes, "I don't know. Everybody says math is difficult, so I hate it." And I'm like, hello? Everybody says, we don't say that here. I'm like, "Do you like money?" Said yes. "Do you want money?" Said yes. I said, "Then you will love math." Hey everyone, how are you today? This is Olubunmi again, and you're welcome to my YouTube channel. So, before I start today's video, I would first of all like to say thank you. Thank you to everyone who watched my last video, which was my first vlog, and thank you for all your messages. Thank you for the comments. Thank you for the DMs, for the people that sent me messages on Instagram and WhatsApp. Thank you also to the people that subscribed. Thank you, thank you, thank you. As at last count, I have 34 subscribers. We're going to thousands, right? But thank you so much. Thank you for being there at the beginning. I'm sure in like a year you come back and you'll be like, I was here when she started do. So yes, thank you. And today I am going to be talking about how to help your kids do better in school. Okay, I'll say that again: how to help your kids do better in school. And I have like a personal story of this, and I'm going to share that story. It's my daughter's story. Okay, so my daughter was in a school. She had her pre-primary in a school, and at some point my husband and I noticed that she couldn't read. Like, she could do her homework. If she was given homework, she would read the homework and do it. But if you give her something else, right, apart from the homework, she won't be able to read it. She'll just like be staring at it and all. And we felt she should have been able at that time to read 2, 3, 4 letter words, but she wasn't doing that. So we decided that it was time to leave the school, as she was going to primary 1, which is grade 1 here in Nigeria. So we talked to people around who had older kids and all, and they recommended a school. And the school is actually also a Christian school, so it ticked like most of the boxes of what we wanted. So we took both of our children. My son was at that time, he just finished nursery 1, and then my daughter just finished nursery 3. So we took both of them to the school to take the exams. Of course, nursery 1 exams, it was just yeah, but nursery 2. So he was going to nursery 2. It wasn't something really serious, so he scaled through easily. But then for my daughter, she did really well in maths, but she couldn't do the English because she couldn't read the questions. So she just left it, and most of it she left it, and she was crying. So when the results came out, we were told that she would have to repeat nursery 3. And my husband wasn't around at the time. He was on an official trip, so I called him and I was like, "Guy, they said that your daughter has to repeat nursery 3 oh." And he was like, "No, that's not going to happen. That why did they say so?" So I told him that, she couldn't read the stuff, so she couldn't do the English. So he said that he knows he knows the kind of person that she is. that she couldn't read because she wasn't taught to read. She couldn't read because she didn't know how to read, not because she was taught and then she didn't remember. That I should tell them that that's what it is, and if they say no, then we'll go to another school. That if if he knows that she doesn't have that ability, then he would agree. But that he knows that she has the ability, it's just that she hasn't been taught. And I agreed because I agreed basically. So I went to the school and I told them, okay, this is what her dad said. What can we do about it? And they were like, fine, that they can promote her to primary one, but it will be on trial. So they will give her a term to catch up, and after the first term, if her results show that she hasn't caught up, then they will return her to nursery three. I was like, okay. So I had to write an undertaking, and then tell them, write it there that they should take her to primary one, and if she doesn't do well, they'll take her back to nursery three. So I wrote it, I signed on behalf of my husband and I, and then that happened. So after that, I realized that what what was happening in the other school is that they were cramming, right? They were cramming the words that they were teaching them. So they have three-letter words, and they'll cram those three-letter words in school, and then they'll give them an assignment or homework, whatever you call it, on those words that they have crammed. So it was easy for her to remember what she had crammed, and then she just put it down and pass, right? So I went to so I got lots of CDs. CDs were still a little bit popular then. I think this was like 2015. Yeah, I think she was five. Yeah, 2015. So we got CDs, phonics CDs, lots of phonics CDs, reading, writing, and then one of my friends who whose mom has a school, and I think her mom is a phonics expert, and she used to help her mom in school, so she knew a thing or two about phonics. Actually, the way we met is that when I had my makeup business, when I moved to Ibadan, she was my first student, my first makeup student, Tayo Aderibigbe of Nsoleke. So she came a couple of times, and took her through. I can never forget. Even my daughter still remembers. Took her through phonics. Um, A says A, B says B, C says K, and all of that. And I wanted somebody else, and then I noticed that they were teaching them with fear in the other school, right? Or rather, she was afraid of her teacher. I don't want to generalize now that all of them. So she was afraid of her teacher in the other school. So anytime she was doing her work, maybe her homework or something, and I say, Feyifumi, what's this? She'll start shaking. And I'm like, I just asked you. I just asked you. I just asked you. It's not like I want to spank you or something. So I wanted someone neutral to come and just, you know, put her mind at ease, which um Taya did perfectly. She came like two or three times. I can't really remember now. To cut this long story short, uh, we didn't even get a lesson teacher for her. I will I used to run a business, so I was home most of the time. I used to pick them from school myself. When we got home, we would sit, do their homework together, and all of that. So at the end of the first term, she passed well, and she was made to continue. Now, when she got to, I think, year three, that's primary three, she made a statement one day, and her brother too was like, me too. Her brother was in primary one, then she was in primary three. She said, Mommy, I hate math. And her brother was like, me too. And I'm like, eh? People should not even think about it. Why would you say that you hate math? And she goes, I don't know. Everybody says math is difficult. So I hate it. And I'm like, hello? Everybody says, uh-uh. We don't say that here. I'm like, do you like money? She said, yes. Do you want money? She said, yes. I said, then you will love math. As in, because I was like, I just needed to use something that would be relatable, right? Even at that age, everybody knows money, right? So, and I love math. I love math. In fact, I had an A1 in math in my WAEC. So I really love math. I love figures. I love seeing the relationship between figures and all. So I was like, you cannot hate math. So we started using everyday things to show how math can be interesting, like when you have an orange and you cut half and give it to your brother. So how many pieces do you now have? So she says, I have one, my brother has one. That makes it one, two, two. So we started using things like that, and we got her counting counters, abacus. Okay, so anyway, at the end of the day, someone who was supposed to repeat a class ended up topping her class, right? When they were graduating from primary school as the head prefect. She was head prefect of the school. So, this takes me right into the topic, how to help your kids do better in school. I'm sure from my story you would have picked a thing or two, but I have some points here that I would like to, share with you. The first thing that I would like to say is that as a parent, you need to be present in the lives of your children, especially at that age when they're like 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. You need to be present because at that age, a lot of things are coming from different angles, and at that age, they're like sponges, so they soak whatever it is that comes in. So you have to be there like a barrier, like when you have a sponge and you want to protect it from water or moisture, whatever, you put it in an impermeable material. So maybe like you tie nylon around it or something. So you have to be that impermeable material that helps them to filter whatever it is that is coming from different areas. So you need to be present. And I don't mean that you should leave your job like I did mine. You can you you need to be intentional, even if you work a 9 to 5 or 9 to 7 or whatever. Dedicate maybe your weekends, sit with them, talk to them, ask them what's going on in school, how are you coping, and all of that, so that you can be you can be in on their lives, and then you can be able to help them correct some funny mindsets that have been put in their minds by people. It could be their friends, it could be their teachers, it could be anybody. So, the second point that I have here is that as much as possible, try not to make learning just about school, right? Because a lot of times when we want our kids to do better in school, we're worried, oh, she's not doing well in math, she's not doing well in English, she's not doing well. Meanwhile, there are other things that your child can do well in, that your child is doing well in. So if the child is doing well in sports, praise that child, acknowledge that exceptional behavior. If your child is doing well in crafts, acknowledge it, acknowledge wherever they're doing well, because as children, they crave your approval, right? Even you as an adult, when someone approves and praises you, you are encouraged to do better. So you can say, so for example, she didn't get, my daughter did not get her first prize in school until maybe she was in primary 4 or 3, I can't remember now, her first academic prize. But she got a prize for being best behaved in primary 2. And my God, I praised her. Like, I'm so proud of you. You got the best behaved child. This is awesome. I am proud that, all the values that we're trying to instill in you, you're showing them in school. So, and I was like, and I know that these values can also help you do better in your academics, and wherever you need help, we are here for you. You know, so don't make learning just about school. Now, this leads me to the next point, which is help your children to discover and then encourage them to deploy their gifts in school. Okay? Help your children to discover and then deploy their gifts in school. So, like I mentioned earlier, your child might be good in athletics, for example. Help them discover that gift. If the child is always running around the house, try say, okay, let's go outside, run, let's see. If you can run with that child. If that child can run faster than you or really close to you or something, then you know that there's something here. If it means going to meet the teacher, that do you guys have like an athletic team for the class grades, that can you please try out my child and let's see how good he or she is, and if he or she can be part of the team. Now, what that does is that when you push them, when you put them in the place where they can thrive easily, it boosts their confidence. So, and most times, when a child is confident, right, the child is able to relax and learn, right? So you can even use that as a pointer. Like I said, for my daughter, even though being best behaved may not be termed as a gift. So, for example, she's very good um, as a speaker, right? She does a lot of debates and all of that, and we noticed that she liked to speak, and her voice, she from when she was really small, she has a very sharp, strong voice. So we just pushed her in that direction. And I told her, if they ask for someone to say something, if anybody asks a question, put your hand up and talk, because you have the voice, you have the volume, and you have the confidence for it. So she started, doing all of that. And before she left the school, she did a lot of debates. So, and that confidence pushed her also to do better in her academics, because she like I said, she got her first prize at the end of primary 3, her first academic prize at the end of primary 3. She got her first prize at the end of primary 2, which was the best behaved prize. And so between that period and just within one session, she grew exponentially academically, and we didn't get a teacher. My children have never had extra lesson teachers, because I've always been around. So, and please, if you are someone who is not that much around and your children need teachers, please get them teachers. Don't say, Olubunmi said she never got her children teachers, so why would you say that I should go and get teachers for my children? No, that's not what I'm saying. Now, the first thing is, let them see the big picture. So don't make it about yourself. Don't make it about the fact that, oh, I want my child to do better. Let that child desire it. Let that child set personal goals. So, excuse me. So let that child desire the growth and let the child set personal goals. So by the time you do all these the things I talked about before, and that child's confidence is already getting boosted, then tell the child that, do you know that you can actually do better in um this subject. Now, the goal is actually to be better than the former you. And this is what I still tell my children till now. Both of them are now in secondary school. I still tell them that till now. The goal is not, I want to be first in math or first in English or first, because when you become first in all of that, what next? Does that mean that you stop growing? No. The goal is not to use other people as a benchmark. The goal is to use your former position, your former results as a benchmark. So I want to do better, than I did last session in math, in history, in this, in that. So they set their goals. And then we look at it together, and I'm like, okay, you don't want to do better in social studies. And she goes, I'm not, so I'd rather be better in science prone, subjects than in commercial and all of that, because I want to be a data analyst. And then my son goes, I'm not sure what I want to be yet. So I would like to do better in almost all my subjects and all of that. And I'm like, okay, great. Let's write them down. And then, you keep reminding yourself. So encourage them to set personal goals and let them see the big picture. Okay. Now, the next one is, as a Christian, if you're a Christian, to use, power is out. Okay, so anyway, I'm sure you can still hear me and you can still see me a bit. So the next thing is for you to use Bible-based affirmations. Okay, so for example, we have a board that we put on the wall. As you're coming up the stairs, it's facing the stairs, and often I put affirmations there. Right now, let me read out what is here. Okay, this is the last one that I put, and it says, I'm a chosen generation, a peculiar people, a royal priesthood. Heads I win, tails I multiply. Okay, so as you're coming up the stairs, I encourage them, as you say it, just say it. Just say it. Just say it. Because before you know it, what you're saying becomes you. And then in their school as well, I said it's a Christian school. In their school as well, they have termly affirmations that they say on their school assembly. And I believe as a Christian that this helps a lot, because the words of the mouth are very, very powerful. And that's why when your children say bad things about themselves, rebuke it and rebuke them immediately, and then give them an alternative. Like I did when my daughter said she hates maths. I was like, Madam, you hate money. No, then you love maths. And she says, oh, yes, I love maths. So, yeah. So, the next one is for you to focus more on what's really important. Yes, it's good to do well in school, but I don't think that you should make your child feel horrible because of that. What is more important is emotional intelligence and good values, character. See, if you have a child that is doing very, very, very well and your child is nasty, it's not worth it. If you have a child that is doing very, very well in school, your child is rude, your child is a bully, your child is not worth it. So please focus more on character. When now that, well, in the labor market, it's not it's not about, oh, I was head girl in school, or I was health prefect, or I was something something. um it's your doggedness, your grit, your character integrity that matters out here. So I think you need to let your children know that as well, and focus more on that while you're helping them do better in school. And finally, which I think is very important, if not the most important, for me it's the most important, right? Finally, pray. There's nothing that prayers cannot solve, right? You can do everything that you know, you can do everything that you know, and yet you're not seeing results. Pray. Pray and believe that it is so, right? So even the Bible says, haven't done all things to stand, stand, right? I believe that that stand means to um, stand and put everything in the hands of God, right? And so those are the points that I have here, actually. Okay, let me just quickly go over them again as a summary. The first thing is for you to be present. The second one is that you shouldn't make learning just about school, right? And then the third is help them to discover and encourage them to deploy their gifts in school. The fourth one, let them see the big picture and set personal goals. And then, as an addendum to the fourth one, the goal is to be better, than former me, not better than somebody else. Right. And then the fifth one is use Bible based affirmations. The sixth is focus more on what's really important. That's character and emotional intelligence. And the last one again is pray. All right, guys, so I have come to the end of this video. I hope that I've been able to show you one or two things that you can do to help your children, do better in school. If you'd like to reach out to me, you can drop a comment. You can send me a DM on Instagram, on Facebook. Olubunmisays is my handle. So if you enjoyed this video, please do well to like the video and share. Just click on that share arrow, right? And share to your status, share to Facebook, share to Twitter or anywhere, and share with the parents that might need this. You might not need it, right? But please share with someone who might need it. And also subscribe to my channel. So like I said, I'm going to be talking about faith, I'm going to talk about family, I'm going to talk about tech, and then I'll just do general vlogs as I feel, inspired to. Okay, so again, thank you so much. Subscribe, and after you subscribe, you see a bell icon. Click on the bell icon so that when I post a new video, you will know about it. Okay, so I know I still owe you guys some videos from my first video. I know that I talked about some videos that I would share, and I will share them as we go on. So thank you for watching, and till I see you next time, have a good life. Bye.